You good? Oh,
I don't know why they give me notifications.
you heard me?
Yeah, did you click all the platforms?
Yeah. Only one I clicked out of, so I swapped one around. I swapped the Aaron Burton for the Naps on Twitter. That's the one I swapped around. The other one was still on. Like Fort Wayne, YouTube's, everything.
What is it the one with the middle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just popped up saying can't play video. Why is it saying can't play video?
This one.
All right, no, we good. I got it. I got this on 4-1. Mic check, mic check. I can hear it. Yep, we rolling. We rolling. We is in your video. Hey, shalom, Israel. Shalom, 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 shalom. I am Officer Azam Oriya. I'm here with Officer Shinyan Man, and we coming to give you another moment of truth. Podcast starts tomorrow. Podcast tomorrow will be called A Moment of Truth. Will be episode 1. Make sure you tune in. It will be every Sunday from 11 to 12. You understand? We're gonna have some mighty priests and prophets on that platform as well. If anybody wants to be a part of it, man, just reach out. You know what I'm saying? Hit me on a messenger. What they say, DM. I guess that would be the proper terminology. I'm learning about all this internet stuff, so bear with me. So you get what I'm saying? But yeah, the podcast comes tomorrow, and this is also a part of that podcast platform. And these are what we're going to call a moment of truth breakdown. And the whole purpose of the breakdown is talking about what's going on in the world. So this is You Can't Handle the Truth, brought to you by Moment of Truth Podcast. And what this moment of truth, and what this thing You Can't Handle the Truth is about is racism. You can't handle the truth about racism. You understand? Point blank, period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Maybe my mama said, and God loves everybody, and all that filth. That's what we got to get away from as a nation, Israel. You understand? And you cannot handle the truth about racism flat out. It hurts your feelings when you think about it. Like us as a nation, we are sensitive people, whether you want to believe it or not. We are a sensitive people. We don't want to believe that somebody don't like us. We got to be liked by everybody. That's why we always doing the food. You get what I'm saying? That's why we always got to be doing the most. That's why we always got to be all in the midst of everybody else trying to be accepted and liked and loved by everybody. Well, the fact of the matter is this, man. The Lord don't require you to be loved and liked by everybody.
Right.
To serve the Lord does not require you to be liked. You know what I'm saying? It requires you to do your goddamn job, man. And the fact of the matter is this, we so busy trying to be a part of this wicked kingdom called America that we forget the fact of the matter is this, is that this wicked kingdom is full of freaking racism, man. You understand? Like all these devils out here, point blank period, they hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And I'm gonna prove it today with some simple stuff, man. We just, we don't pull out a couple of scriptures, but if you just really use your common sense, you will see the truth behind it. So right now we are in a city called Indianapolis, Indiana, right? We in Indianapolis, that's a city of state. And this week is the week of an event that's called the Expo. That's what they call it, the Expo. But before it was called the Expo, do you know what it was used to be? Did you know what it was called? Before they just start calling it the Expo, you know what it was called?
Okay.
What was it?
Black Expo.
What was it? Say it loud so the people hear you.
The Black Expo.
That's what it used to be called. It used to be called the Black Expo. But let me tell you something, they don't call it that no more. They just call it the Expo. You get what I'm saying? Let me ask you something. We all heard of a place called Comic-Con, right? We know what Comic-Con is, right?
Right.
Let me ask you something. Remember when it used to be called something else? It's a trick question because it was never called anything else. It's always been called Comic-Con because it's about comic books. It's about the world of comic books and everything related to it. And they're not going to change the name of that to appease to somebody else. What about the people that don't like comic books and like just reading regular books? What about the people that read magazines and like, well, give me some magazines like ESPN and Essence and The Jet or whatever. Are they going to change Comic Con to start appeasing every magazine?
Right.
Why not? The other magazines matter.
Right.
The other magazines matter. Everybody don't like comic books, but I like books. So why does it have to be called Comic Con? And why does it have to be about comic books? You think Comic Con would give a damn? They would say, no, we're not changing the name. This is directly associated with this event.
Right.
That's how the Black Expo used to be, man. The Black Expo used to be a glorious thing where you just go there and you would see so many black people and it would just be so entertaining and it generated so much revenue, man. And listen, let me tell you something, black people used to have a ball down there, man. But it's no longer the Black Expo. It's just called the Expo. Everything that used to be about Black Expo is now about what? The white man.
Right.
It's the white man's expo now. That's what they should go ahead and call it. The white expo. That's what the hell they should call it now. Because it's not, listen, it's not about black people, man. Listen, black people, we got to take our spirit out of this place, man. And we don't even realize that this is an act of war. Let me get Job 9 and 24. Let's get Job 9 and 24. Why are they able to hijack all of these movements like this, man? Everything that the black man does, somehow it has to be infested with the oppressor. You get what I'm saying? And you can't even handle the truth behind it. You don't even know why it's called the Expo anymore, or why it's not called the Black Expo, why it's just called the Expo. Every black person should be up in arms about their event being hijacked and taken away from them.
Right.
Now when you go down there, they got all type of stupid things that has nothing to do with black culture. The black culture, the only thing that's still black about that thing is the so-called free concert. And let me tell you something, there used to be a free concert. Like if you had to pay, it was just bare minimum. But then when it became the expo, right? I remember one year the prices of the tickets was like $60. $60. They ain't never been that high. It didn't start getting that high until the oppressor got involved.
Right.
Until the white man got involved and they started charging an arm and a leg for these tickets. When the performers for the Black Expo used to come down here and perform for free. Like a lot of people don't even know, man, we got so many black people with ties to this city, like ties to this city and neighboring cities, like Gary, Indiana, and things of that nature. And they used to always come down here and perform for free. You get what I'm saying? Like Mike Epps is from here. He don't even come down here for the Black Expo no more. And if he did, he does it in silence. He don't announce it no more because it's not the same event. The spirit of it has been taken out of it, man. And it's not an event for black people anymore. The free concert went from being a $60 concert back to the free concert. That was the big thing about trying to get people to come this year. They kept saying the free concert, free concert, free concert. Why? Because when they was saying it was free, it was charging $60 for goddamn ticket.
Right.
We got all type of performers that come from the city. Like Baby's Face is one of them. And there's a couple other, him and all his brothers and a couple other artists, man. They used to come down here, black artists used to come down here and perform every year because this was a big deal. This was a big deal, and it was so close in line with like the Derby at one point in time that, you know, you would go from basically from one city to the other city. It'd be like a whole vacation month type stuff,
Right.
where you just come and just party it up here in this city. But once more, the oppressor seen the revenue that this was generating just from black people and knew that his people wouldn't feel comfortable coming to something that's called the Black Expo. So what did he started to do? He started to invest and take over and delegate, and now it's just called the Expo. Let me get that scripture.
It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
What? Say that again.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. The reason why the oppressor is able to do this is because the oppressor is in power. Black man that's been a great man. He's in power right now. He's in power. There's no two ways about it. He's the one ruling. Keep going.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
He took from calling it the Black Expo to the Expo. That's covering up the blackness of it. That's covering up the fact that this was a black people event and now it's taking over. What does this remind you of when I'm speaking on the Black Expo? It's a holiday. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Juneteenth.
That's it. Say it to the people here.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. That's what it reminds you of. Juneteenth used to be a black holiday, right? Celebrated by the black people before it became a national holiday.
Right.
But what happened? They made it a national holiday. And now you can't go to any Juneteenth event. You can't go to a Juneteenth event without seeing white people just flooded in the whole goddamn area. That's what they do. They flooded the whole area. Let me get let me get Exodus 1 and 10. What we don't get is that this is an act of racism and this is an act of war. They changed it from the Black Expo to the Expo because they're racist. They covered the faces of the judges because they're racist. They don't want the name black in nothing. You understand? They did that because the white man is racist and he doesn't want you niggas to have a goddamn thing without him overseeing and ruling over. Right. Point blank period. And that's the truth of the matter. You might think that it's a good business decision or it's a good business deal, but my thing is this. Why come it couldn't say Black Expo and still be a good business deal? Right. Why come whenever black people are involved in something, you have to feel like you have to lighten it up in order for it to be marketable? Right. We have to coon and buffoon in order to be marketable and appeasing to the white man. Right. Why is that the case every goddamn time? Why does all of us have to be Wayne Brady? We got to make the white man laugh and feel comfortable. Right. You understand? Why do we have to be Brian Gumbo? We have to put on the suit and tie and talk a certain way, take the bass out of our voice in order to feel comfortable around white people. Right. Or in order for them to feel comfortable around us, rather. You understand? That is wickedness right there, man. That is emasculating, and that is how you destroy a goddamn nation, when you start taking away their culture and their spirit. Let's get that scripture.
Come. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 10.
Go ahead.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
Right there. Stop right there. It says, come and let us deal wisely with them. Even though this was the heathen, the Egyptians saying this at the time, let me tell you something. This is the spirit of all these other heathen nations. The white man, the Chinese man, the Muslim man, they all have this same spirit to deal wisely with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right. You understand? Because we're more than them, we're greater than them. Everything that we touch, we got the Midas touch. Everything that we touch turns to gold, and it is a revenue stream for them. What's the example of that? I hope you are even more. BET. It's called Black Entertainment Television. But guess what? There's no more black people owning it. Right? BET is owned by the white man. What's more? You need more proof? No sweat. Look at the BET Awards. I didn't even watch it, man. I just seen clips, like the stuff that they show on Facebook. I seen the clips. And let me tell you, every clip that I seen was a homosexual clip, was a lesbian clip. That's all I seen. I seen clips of homos and lesbians. Right. I didn't see one clip of a regular person whatsoever. All the men were dressed like women and all the women were dressed like men. And the women that didn't dress like men were dressed like whores. Am I missing something here? And somehow, being that this is Black Entertainment Television, homosexuality, gay, lesbianism, right? This is being associated with black people. Right. This is not a black man's culture. This is not a black woman's culture. This is an oppressor's culture. This is the white man's culture. This is Greek culture. Homosexuality is Greek. Right. That's what they used to do. That was the best at it. They had orgies in the middle of the goddamn street. But what did they do? They start patterning that whole philosophy after us, man. Like I said, you don't even get it, man. This is a war tactic, and this is straight racism. Because everything that has to do with homosexuality and negativity is connected with a certain group of people. How many commercials do you see? You see black people on there being homosexuals or lesbians. You see, that's what you see. Every goddamn commercial. Go ahead.
There's this one ad on YouTube that I just keep on seeing. Like, it won't go away. And it won't. It's like it's haunting me at this point.
Right.
Every single time I go on YouTube, I go to click on a video or something. There's always this ad that pops up. It's helping to raise funds for for Pride Month. Even though it's long gone, right. It's still a thing because you know how America is. They like to support the homosexual LGBTQ community.
Right.
They love, spreading that word. So, they still try to promote it and have people raise funds for them and everything. And this one specific ad that comes on. It's with these drag queen female dudes. I don't know what they are. I don't care to know. But only thing I know is there's some drag queens, they black, and it irritates me just looking at it. Every single time there's always this one, what I'm assuming is a female, always announcing we having a drag queen month or whatever like this, that, and the other. We're raising funds for XYZ for Pride Month for LGBTQ community. And if you do this X, Y, and Z, you can help support us. And then it just goes through doing a whole bunch of shots of just black drag queens. I barely even see any white people on there. I'm like, yo, this is really how y'all promoting us now, huh? Like this, there's no masculinity in none of the ads that I see anymore. There is very few far in between that I might ever actually see any masculinity in the ad. Like I can't even watch Old Spice ad anymore. It was a Old Spice ad with a brother crying, holding a lavender scented Old Spice shampoo bottle, and his wife over there comforting him. I'm like, yo, are you serious? I can't even wash up anymore without even looking at this.
Right.
So like you. That's all I have to say.
No, you're absolutely right. Like we have no, who the hell outside of the ISUPK, where else can you look to for masculinity?
Right.
And what's more, what we don't get, or what you don't want to know the truth about is at the root of all this is racism.
Right.
That's what's at the root of all this. Racism and a hatred for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
That's what's at the root of it. The racism and the hatred that this nation has for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Point blank period. That's what. Like, man, we can't get a lick of peace in this place, man. A lick of peace in this place, because the oppressor is such a goddamn beast that he wants everything to be homosexual in nature and everything to be up under his stewardship. Everything that's up under white man's stewardship is homosexual or it's lesbian. It's that simple. Just think about it. Like, prime example, in this city, we got Expo coming up. And the Expo is everything is surrounded with the rainbow flags and everything. They've hijacked this movement. They've changed the Black Expo to the Expo. They changed the Black Lives Matter to Black Trans Lives Matter somehow. Like black trans are the ones being out here gunned down by police. You see the gay pride flag with the black fist in the middle. Like everything, and who's running this? Who's running these organizations? The oppressor. There might be some blackface that's there for the root of it to try to show you like this is for the people, but at the end of the day, they don't own nothing. Those are the fall guys. Those are the ones that sold us out to get a couple of goddamn dollars in their pocket.
Right.
Their life partners is probably some goddamn heathen.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's usually the case.
Yeah, right. Every time. It never fails, man. Right. What we got to do is, man, we got to learn how to start sacrificing, man.
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have to learn to start sacrificing. Let me get John 10 and 10. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, we listen. I understand. You think that you have to go out and party and you have to go out and do this and you have to go out and do that, but you don't have to do that, man. The second that the Black Expo stopped being the Black Expo, all black people should have said, we're not doing this no more.
Right.
We're not going to go to another goddamn event until you call it the Black Expo again and let black people be in control of it. Let us set up the entertainment. Let us do what the hell we've been doing without your goddamn permission. Go ahead.
And it's like to add on to what you were saying earlier about, pressure taking over the Black Expo and everything. That's something that we also got to get out the mindset of. Like, we got to stop feeling like we wrong for wanting to care about our own. Like you said earlier, like we letting our public image dictate how we, operate, how we care for our own. Just because the oppressor and, all these other communities take offense to us wanting to care about our own and don't want to deal with no other nations, we feel like it's our obligation to, put ourselves out there, to open up to everybody.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's not. If all these other nations can do it, why can't we? That's how it says.
That's every point. Prime example. When you go to Chinatown, right? When you go to Chinatown, do you see any black businesses down there? Do Do you see any white businesses down there? Do you see any other businesses down there besides white businesses? Is your phone back?
I'm gonna plug it up before we do it.
Okay, so you can just put the scriptures in my phone.
That's good. I'm going to my book.
Like you don't see any other heathen nations down there amongst them heathens. It's all Chinatown. The second that they allow somebody else to come in there and make money and thrive and feed, let me tell you something, it's no longer Chinatown. It's no longer Chinatown. Then it becomes a thing for everybody. Everybody gets to be a part of it. Everybody gets to benefit from it. But once more, when you go to Chinatown, why is it even called Chinatown? They didn't even name it that. The oppressor named it that. Everybody that goes there named it that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? They didn't call it Chinatown. Now they do it purposely because it gives them power in the name. But calling it Chinatown didn't make anybody feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Everybody, yeah, Chinatown. They said, hey, listen, nobody felt threatened by Chinatown. But for some odd reason, whenever there's black involved in anything, everybody feels goddamn threatened, and you got to change the name. Right. Juneteenth. This was a black event with no oppressors was ever even in the midst of it. Now that oppressors are a part of it, now when I go to Juneteenth events and they give it a little speech, yeah, we got to call some goddamn devil to the stage to thank him. Right? Yeah, this is Mr. Tom Lawler. He's the co-founder of this event. Right. He put all this together. He was able to come here and let us use all his property and this and that. I wouldn't give a damn. We hold it in the hood in a goddamn Kroger's parking lot. Right. Let it be something black owned. Right. Black operated for blacks only, man. For only black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. You can't have nothing without the oppressor. Ask the Mexican Cinco de Mayo. The oppressor's there. Right. Go ahead.
It's lucky. I believe it was either you or one of the brothers had brought it out on Juneteenth. Like somebody had said, man, like let this like we sacrificed that. We really did. We sacrificed from being at Riverside Park last year, from being smack dab in the hood, versus having a risk of probably being shot at or something like that. Because it's just our neighborhood like that. But that's how it is. Sure. We just got a violent neighborhood. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's ours. Can't nobody come over there and tell us what to do. But instead, you wanted to sacrifice that, your integrity, to go over here in this public area with these oppressors, to have their permission to set up a name booth or whatever, so you can have a nice view in public area, so that way you can, like I said, sell out. You could have somebody. You'd rather have somebody else's stuff and make it look good than to have your own and at least still, like I said, let it be yours.
Man, I got a question, because you said something, and I don't think you meant it that way, but you were saying that we have a violent neighborhood. What makes our neighborhood more violent from the oppressor?
You're right.
They just shot up a goddamn 4th of July parade.
Right.
Listen, we are safer in the ghettos than we will ever be with the goddamn oppressor. That's where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be in the ghetto. Because let me tell you something, you being down there at the park was called like White Park. You have a Juneteenth event at a park called White Park.
Right.
White Park. You get what I'm saying? That like, what the hell, man? Why come they didn't change the park name? Right? That park name makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm threatened by it. It shouldn't be called White Park. It should just be called the park. Yeah, park. The park. It should be called Park. Right? Or the Expo. Just like you changed it to the Expo, change White Park to the Park. It's a racist name. It makes black people feel uncomfortable. What about the Mexicans? What about the Chinese people? Like the white man doesn't care about that. Right. He makes sure that he titles his stuff the way that he wants to title it. And then for some odd reason, whenever black people want to do it, he comes right behind them, takes it over. I'll finance this, but you have to change the name. Right. All right, nigga? Mr. Black Man? Change the name, everything's good. And we fall for it every goddamn time, man. Right. We rather have crumbs with them than to have our own piece of bread. Right. Like for some odd reason, we like, yeah, we got this wheat bread, but the white man has white bread. And I'd rather have white bread crumbs than a whole slice of wheat bread. Right. That's how destroyed we are as a people. You got that scripture?
So you want to Exodus 10?
Yeah, read Exodus 10 again.
Yeah. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 10, verse. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 10. Come on, let us deal.
That's what it says, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta switch that button, or shouldn't you? Oh, all right, I got you. Go ahead, read it. I thought mine said something else.
Come on, let us deal. Let us deal wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them, man. That is every goddamn heathen nation on the face of this planet, man. They know how to deal wisely with us, man. Like, this is talking about something else, but that's how they deal. And all right, I remember the scripture. It was John 10:10. That's
Yep,
what
I had
went
it. It was on my phone.
to. That's what I went to.
Yep.
And what was you at just now? Exodus 10:10?
Exodus 1 and 10.
Exodus 1 and 10? Yeah, it's John 10:10. Exodus 1 and 10.
Yep. John 10 and 10.
Yep, this one. So yeah, let's get John 10:10, man.
I got it.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. This is what we're gonna have to learn to do, man. Go ahead and read that.
Come on. It's the book of John.
Like, the oppressor won't let you have a goddamn thing, man. Like, he's taking over the Black Expo here in that town. He's taking over Juneteenth all around the world. Whatever is black owned and operated, he's gonna take, he's gonna destroy. Let's get some more. Let's go.
Okay. That's the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal.
That's the white man right there. That's the oppressor. He's coming not but to steal. Anything that has to do with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are not allowed to have that to yourself. He's going to take it. Be prepared. What you got to do is have integrity behind it. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. You got to have integrity. You got to realize that I'd rather have a goddamn thing if it means having to have it under you. If I got to have it under you, I don't want it.
Right.
That's the spirit you have to have. Why the hell do I need this if you got to be a part of it? Who the hell? The oppressor wants his own.
Right.
That's what the whole Civil War was about. Between him and Britain, they wanted their own.
Right.
They didn't want to. They went with that God Save the Queen stuff.
Right.
They said God bless America. That's what they said.
Right.
They wanted their own. But you want to be a part of everything that they put together because you feel like you can't be successful without it. This is why the ISUPK is so goddamn important.
Right.
The ISUPK teaches you that you can be successful by yourself with your brothers and sisters by your goddamn side.
Right.
We can be successful as a nation. When I say you in this case, I'm talking about us. You can be successful as a nation. We don't need the oppressor to do anything, man.
Right.
And this is just so sad to see, man, because I'm watching people come back and listen, they had the time of their life with the oppressor overseeing them.
Right.
The oppressor just standing over them like this. This is how the oppressor be looking at y'all. Like little kids playing. He looking down on you like this. This is what he doing. This right here.
Right.
I don't like what that nigger's doing there. Fix that.
Right.
And that's acceptable for us. Never in ISUPK.
Right.
We will never allow that by any means whatsoever. You understand? You're not out to hover over us like you some goddamn deity, goddamn heathen.
Right.
You understand? You goddamn oppressor. We're not going for it, man. And we're going to raise up every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian to feel the same way. We don't deal with you racist piece of crap, man. We don't deal with y'all. And here's the thing. And here's what I get all the time. Like, your group was racist. Your group was racist. You goddamn right. Goddamn right we racist. Who do we learn it from? Who's more racist than the oppressor? Even through his religion, he's racist. White Christians don't go to church with black Christians. Not in the white neighborhoods. They may do it in the ghettos, but not in the white neighborhoods. Go ahead.
Salaki, I just want to say, like, that's crazy. Like, we get called the racist, but here we are. Like I said, we just want to keep it to ourselves. We just simply trying to support the black community. That's all we trying to do. How are we racist? Because we want to look out for y'all.
Because we don't let white.
That's crazy. You not realize how dirty that is? We are racist because we want to look out for you. Because we want to make sure that you don't get killed. Because we want to make sure that you stay safe. That is so crazy. But then here you are. You turn around. You see that, Mr. White Man? They are racist. Mm-hmm. While he's holding a gun to his brother's head.
Right. While he's still killing blacks.
Yeah.
Well, once more, nobody goes to Chinatown and calls the Chinese man racist.
Right.
Nobody ever goes to Chinatown They calls the Chinese man racist. When they did that Asian Lives Matter, nobody called them racist.
Right.
Nobody interfered with their little movement and said all lives matter,
Right.
blue lives matter, white lives matter. Nobody said any of that shit. Ooh, nobody said any of that stuff to them freaking Haitians.
Right.
They let them be. They let them come together. In fact, you was told to support them, black
Right.
man. You said, get them heathens your love. Even though you've been giving them all your goddamn love, give them more of it. Because if you're loving everybody else, you don't have no time for yourself.
Right.
And it's crazy because you hear women talk about this all the goddamn time as parents. I gotta make some me time. I gotta love me. I can't be a good mother if I don't love myself. You just say that about your own goddamn baby, but you don't understand it as a whole, as a unit, as a nation.
Right.
Stupid. Stupid. The whole purpose of you getting these goddamn abortions is because you gotta love you.
Right.
That ain't, ooh, I almost cussed again. That ain't no goddamn love. That's you loving the oppressor. That's what that is. That's you loving whatever the oppressor said to do, and you do it.
Right.
Let's get the rest of that scripture.
Come. And to kill and to destroy.
This is all the oppressor. He's coming to kill and destroy. Even if he ain't doing it physically, he's doing it spiritually. He's doing it economically. He's coming to kill, steal, and destroy. If he won't do it physically, he's going to do it on other levels because this is a war tactic, and that's what being racist is all about.
Right.
Making sure that your race is above, is winning. Racism. The word race is in there. In a race, what are you doing? You're competing and you're trying to win.
Right.
That's the root word of racism. Get what I'm saying? You're competing and you're trying to win. So he's coming to do all these things. Take that scripture from the top again. He's coming to do all these things. If he's not doing it physically, he's doing it spiritually to make sure that his race wins. Racism. Keep going.
Come. This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. Verse 11.
Keep going. And this is the Lord. When you follow the law, statutes, and commandments, man, you're going to get life and you're going to have it more abundantly, man. Start to separate. Start to be the same kind of racist that the oppressor is. Let me rephrase that. Start to be a racist like the oppressor is, but not the same kind. Because this racism comes with murder, rape, pillage, and robbery. Your racism doesn't have to come with that. Your racism can just come with serving the law, statutes, commandments of the Lord. You want to know what a true race? That's why they say like we racist, because we follow the Bible. You got that right. I'm a racist because I'm gonna follow this Bible. Go ahead.
Just look, add on to what you were saying, like you were saying, had the same mindset. One to separate from the oppressor in his nation, but do it for a totally different reason.
Right.
Do it to serve yourself and your brothers in your nation.
Right. And here's the messed up part about the oppressor, man. The oppressor wants he wants to separate from you on a different level that you want to that you think. Like he wants you here, right?
Right.
He wants you here because America can't run without you.
Right.
That's been proven. When COVID hit, that was proven. America shut down because black people weren't working.
Right.
Black people said help them jobs. Right now, everywhere you look, there's a now hiring sign.
Right.
Because black people didn't go back to work. Black people started opening up their own business and all that kind of stuff. Get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like America is still suffering behind that. That's why they doing whatever they can to make sure black people suffer more than the white Americans do.
Right.
That's what they're doing. That's what the gas prices is about and all this other stuff. This program is put in place to help white society.
Right.
None of the programs benefit you, black man. Man. Sorry to tell you, you get the crumbs, but you don't ever get the whole sandwich. You get the crumbs. You can lick the crumbs off the ground.
Right.
But you'll never get the chance to take a big bite out of that sandwich that's being prepped for white America.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Let's get some more. Let's get to the rest of the scripture. This is what you gotta realize. Before you finish that scripture, let me say this. This is the point I want to make. White America wants to separate from you, but they don't want you to leave. What they do want you to do is shut your goddamn mouth. Don't talk about how hard it is. When you're dying, just die quietly.
Right.
We don't want you protesting and marching and all of that. We're tired of your Black Lives Matter. This is the spirit of white America. We don't care about none of that. Just do your goddamn job and not serve white America.
Right.
No, we don't want Black Expo in the name of nothing. We don't want you celebrating Juneteenth without us. You can't do none of that. And we so destroyed, we so stupid, we don't even get it.
Right.
We celebrated the crap out of Juneteenth and then turned around and celebrated the 4th of July.
Right.
He was in it deep.
Right.
This is why white America knows that we're never going to separate from it, because we don't have the spirit of the Lord on us. We don't. We have the spirit of white Jesus. We have the spirit of white Jesus, where we got to figure out a way to love the oppressor to death while he continues to kill us.
Right.
This is the truth behind racism. Whether you like it or not, know it or not, understand it or not, this is the truth. Let's get the rest of the scripture. This is what we're going to have to learn to do.
Come. This is chapter 10, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
Now, this is what we got to understand. And I'm going to break this down, man, spiritually for you. Like, the whole purpose of you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, is that you're in opposition of the white man. You're in competition with them, right? That's your whole purpose on earth.
Right.
But instead of you serving your purpose, you're in compliance with what the oppressor wants. But you claim to be a good shepherd. Most black people that we talk to claim to love other black people, right?
Right.
They claim to care about other black people. You get what I'm saying? But you want to love everybody else as well.
Right.
Now, we're going to use this metaphor that we just read in the scripture, to be a good shepherd, right? Right. Now, we know what a shepherd is, right? Yeah. A herder of animals. Let's say that you got sheep, right? That's a perfect analogy, because we are the lost sheep of Israel. Yeah. So we got sheep, right? You got to be a good shepherd. You love your sheep. You know that you got to take care of your sheep. Right. But the wolves want to eat your sheep. Right. Are you just going to look over them wolves and not do anything about the wolves that's coming into your flock to eat your sheep? Right. Are you going to love them wolves? You're going to take care of the wolves along with your sheep? Right. You're going to raise the baby wolves up with your sheep? Is that what you're going to do? Listen, I can't discriminate against my sheep and the wolves. I got to put them both together. Right. And that's what you're doing when you're trying to bring in black and white people together. You're bringing in wolves and sheep. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is you're going against the natural order of things. Because let me tell you something: wolves are racist. Right. Wolves only care about other wolves. Right. That's racism. They're racist towards sheep. Right. Wolves try to kill sheep every time they see them. Right. It's on sight. Right. Every time. They're not trying to make sure that the wolf pack grows along with the sheep, flock of sheep. They don't give a flock about them sheep. Right. You get what I'm saying? Straight up. They will eat every sheep on the goddamn planet in a day if they could. That is the spirit of the oppressor. Right. That is the spirit behind racism, but you still want to be a part of it. Anything that the sheep has, the wolf wants to take over. Right. Wherever they're grazing at and chilling at, the wolf wants to take over and set up shop there and eat them at their disposal and at their will. Right. They're changed the sheep expo into the wolf expo. Or just the expo so it don't look so threatening. So more sheep will come. Some more sheep will spend their money. You get what I'm getting at? Right. You see where I'm going with this? It is all a war tactic. And read that last scripture again. You have to be willing to do what?
I am the good shepherd.
If you're a good shepherd, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, if you're a good father, if you're a good mother, if you're a good brother, if you're a good uncle, if you're a good auntie, keep going.
The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
You give up your life for the sheep. You're going to take care of what's going to feed your family. You're going to take care of what's going to feed your flock. You're going to give your life. And listen, I get it. Because I know that going out to the clubs is your life. I know that Black Expo and free concerts and partying some more is your life. But for the good of your goddamn nation, for the good of your flock, for the good of your sheep, you have to stop it.
Right.
You have to not celebrate the 4th of July. You have to not go to the expo, formerly known as the Black Expo. You
Right.
have to cut all them things off. You have to starve the wolf out.
Right.
If you don't feed the wolf, if you're just leaving your sheep there for the wolf to eat, the wolf is never going to go anywhere. It's never going to do anything. It's going to get nice and fat and plump there, and it's going to eat off of you forever. It's going to bring all his other wolf friends in to do the same. It's going to bring the whole wolf pack. If we stop feeding the oppressor, if we stop giving our love and our money and our time and our effort to the oppressor, he's going to starve out. He's going to have to move on to somebody else or somewhere else in order to get these things that he wants that's going to help him survive. We have to take our spirit out of America. No Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian within the sound of my voice should ever go to the expo again.
Right.
I don't give a damn what cool performer they got coming. You understand? I don't give a damn who they got coming. Because they getting a check from the white man. You ain't. It's a free performance for you to maybe show up, but they getting paid.
Right.
They are getting paid. They're not doing this stuff out the spirit, out the kindness of their heart. What's the proof of that? Because all the people who were doing it from the kindness of their heart stopped coming.
Right.
They stopped coming. They was like, I'm not getting paid for this. And now you're dictating what I can and can't do, and you taking these events away and doing this and doing that and blah blah scoop and this and that. I won't show up then.
Right. They're taking the fun. That they like you said, they had a whole reason for coming. They came for black,
For
they
black
wanted black unity.
They wanted the love.
That is exactly what they wanted.
They came to see your face, black man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now you good. And they came in there, and like you said, pulled the Hitler on them, dictated everything they did. Didn't let them have a breath of fresh air. We gonna have you do this, and that, and you also ain't gonna get paid for it, like you was doing before.
Right. They came to see black people. It was called the Black Expo.
Right.
They came to see black people. These are celebrities. Their whole life is surrounded by oppressors.
Right.
Their whole life is surrounded by oppressors. That's all they got. That's all they do with their whole life is sing and dance for these goddamn oppressors.
Right.
Don't worry, I'm gonna pull the scripture for you. As a matter of fact, let us get Psalms 137 and 3. Psalms 137 and 3. Like, let me tell you something. Mike Epps, Cat Williams, Babyface, all these other performers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, whatever performer comes to perform for a Black Expo, most of them used to just come down here to be around Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. The reason the concerts were free because most of these people were once poor like us, and they know that we can't afford it, but we all put our little funds together and make the best out of the city, make the best out of a bad situation that we possibly can, and they used to come to support. They came down here for black love.
Right.
To see you, black man. And, we would scrape up the little funds that we did have and pour it all into the community. And the money, and listen, he was feeding this city.
Right.
Feeding this city with the crumbs that we have, man. Because believe it or not, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, even though we are poor, we spend the most with all these other heathen nations because we don't know how to spend within our own nation. Number one, we don't know how to. Number two, we don't have nothing.
Right.
We don't know how to support black business.
Right.
We don't know how to build business from the ground up. We have lost the recipe. You don't want to listen to the ISUPK because we do it here in the ISUPK, but in the world, you don't have the recipe. You don't know how to fix it. It's all destroyed because you're following the oppressor. But these people, let me get back to my point. These people came down here for black love. For you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, they didn't come down here to see the oppressor because they see the oppressor all their goddamn lives, every movie that they do, every show that they do, every event that they do, all these films and all these big sold out Market Square Arena or whatever the hell. Who the hell is running the places? Who owns it all? The oppressor. They got the best seats in the house. They provide all they goddamn friends, all their oppressors with money. Because they love black music and black culture. That's how they come and steal it all. That's how they learn how to manipulate the masses. That's why they bought BET. Go ahead.
So that's heavy that you bring that out because that's exactly what it is. No matter where these brothers and sisters go, like, if they performers, artists, no matter what it is, wherever they go, anywhere they go all over the state, they're always going to run into oppressors, no matter where they are going.
They're agents and oppressors.
And like you said, they Asians oppressors. And like you said, they come in here help black people out. Like they once knew the struggle that we had to go through because they came up like that. And now that they got it good, they want to spread that same, energy that they got.
Just come down
onto
there and be
us.
with your family.
Yeah, they want to give us what they didn't have, and that's real brotherhood. That's what it really is, man. That's what we need to start coming back to.
Right. Let me tell you something. These black celebrities ain't nowhere near as rich as these white celebrities.
Right,
They might be rich to us, but they poor to the rest of Hollywood.
right.
Let's get that scripture. Let me show you why they don't want to deal with all these goddamn devils down there. Let me show you why when it stopped being a black expo, they stopped coming when it became just the expo. Go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 3. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song.
Listen, that is us right now to this day. That is black people all through captivity. And let me tell you something, whether they an athlete or they just a regular person at a job, you still in captivity. We just read how the earth is given into the hands of the wicked and they cover the faces of the judges. This is done everywhere at every level. This is a war tactic. This is the spirit of racism. The spirit of racism is to make, the root word race, if we competing, right? If we are competing, I want to win. There's a reward in it if I win, right? There's a reward for winning. Nobody competes and nobody races if there's nothing to win. Even if it's bragging rights, you want to have something to hold over somebody's head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Racism is a race war, whatever you want to call it, we're competing.
Right.
These people are competing, they're competing at a different level than we are.
Right.
Because we don't have the spirit to just cut people off and leave them alone and say, screw it, we're going to do our own thing, we're going to do us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have that spirit. We only gonna get that spirit as if you come into the ISUPK. But these celebrities are required to song and dance everywhere they go. They're required to act a fool and coon and buffoon everywhere they go. LeBron James wouldn't be LeBron James if he wasn't required to do a song and dance. His song and dance is just with a basketball.
Right.
Mike Epps is with a microphone telling jokes. Patti LaBelle's with a microphone singing. You're required to do a song and dance. Let's get to the rest. Here's what the oppressor wants.
Come. And they that wasted us.
They to do what?
And they that wasted us
Keep going.
required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Tell us one of them jokes, nigger.
Right.
Let's see one of them fancy dunks, nigger. Let's hear one of them songs, nigger.
That's terrible.
That's the spirit of America.
Right.
That's what they require from black people. And then we all gather around, the rest of us gather around and watch and harmonize with it.
Right.
That's what we doing now, man. We got to get out of the spirit, man. And let me tell you something, once more, this is a war tactic. Let me get Judith 5:19. Book of Judith 5:19. They know this, man. And how do they do this? How do they do this? Why is that Black Expo no longer exist and it's just called the Expo? Next year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's called the White Expo. Right? You understand? Because that's what it's been whitewashed, just like everything else. And they know this because, let me tell you something, we have fell away from the Lord. They know how to deal wisely with us. They know how to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that's exactly what they're doing. And all of this is racism at its finest, and it's a war tactic. Racism is a war tactic. Don't ever forget that. It's a tactic of war. Point blank, period. This is the truth behind racism. They want to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And every move that they make is made out of the spirit of racism.
It's called Jude. It says Jude.
No, Judith.
You put it on
I believe it's in that pocket. It might be in the pocket for some luck. Judith, I believe it is.
What book it is?
My fault. I'm saying it like it's my fault. You didn't look at Judith in that pocket. There's a word on that. Let's train of thought. Oh, racism. It's about competing. That's what racism is about. That's why them devils was doing all that marching a few years back, screaming, "You will not replace us." That's why them devils love Donald Trump. How many people think Donald Trump's a racist? Donald Trump's a racist. Yo, Donald Trump, he's a racist. He's a racist. we should all know.
You said Judith.
Yep, Judas 5:19. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump is about his people winning. His people is America. He's about them winning. And black man, you think Donald Trump is for you because you actually got crumbs, right? Every time we get some crumbs, we think it was meant for us. Right? Them crumbs wasn't meant for us. You know what I'm saying? Them crumbs is not meant for us. Them crumbs is meant for the nation, and we just so happen to benefit from it. Right? It's meant for the white nation. It ain't meant for you, black man. It's meant for the Chinese man and the Asian man. It's meant for everybody else but you, black man. The proof of that is where we at now. We've been over here for over 100, 400 years, and we still on the goddamn bottom. We still can't even have a simple event like Juneteenth to ourselves. We can't. You will never hijack the 4th of July, no matter how much firecrackers you like. Right, man? You will never hijack it. You will never say the 4th of July is for black people. Right. It's always for America and for the foundation of America. And America won its freedom. America won its freedom, not you, nigga. America. Go ahead.
Oh, you just said before you even said that part. I was actually going to say, even if we did persuade the oppressor to make that a black holiday for July 4th, why would you want to make it a black holiday? Right. That was a holiday for the oppressor to kill us. That was something that we were literally being murdered on. That's like saying that Thanksgiving is gonna be that's like saying that the Gaddites want to make Thanksgiving a holiday for them. So, you don't realize how disrespectful that is?
Well, just imagine somebody coming into your house, raping, pillaging, and robbing all of your family. Would you then make that a holiday to celebrate?
Should have just slow look at him.
Right?
Like, yo, like that don't even make any sense.
So this is the day you came to rape my little baby. Let's celebrate.
Right. Like that don't even sound right.
This is how ignorant we are in this place. This is how ignorant we are in this place. That it don't have to sound right.
Man.
It just has to feel good.
Yeah, or it's just nationally accepted. Just like just like homosexuality. It's not right at all. It is far from right, but it's definitely accepted here in America.
Damn right. And all of these same day, everything that the oppressor touches it's like they take a goddamn needle and inject homosexuality all the way in it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
Straight up. Like no matter what it is, if it's black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, the white man will grab a hold of it and he will definitely make sure that it's matter of fact, let's get the scripture. What is the oppressor gonna do? This is what he's gonna make sure of. Go ahead, read it.
So 5:18.
Yep.
Joshua, Judith 5:18.
Let's see what 18 says.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 18.
And this was a bunch of heathens getting together on how to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. How to destroy the Israelites. Let's go.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed.
Go up one verse.
Come. Verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered because the God that hated iniquity was with him.
Listen, while we serve the Lord, we always prosper. Whenever blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians serve the Lord, we prosper. Even our enemies know this. That's what they're talking about. They was talking about how to destroy them. Let's go to war with them. He was getting counsel. And one of the heathens that knew our history said, nah. He said every time that their Lord was with them, they destroyed everybody who came up against them. If you want to beat them, you got to get them to turn away from their God. Let's go.
Come. Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them,
homosexuality. When they departed
from the way which he appointed them,
loving everybody,
which he appointed them,
keep going,
that they were destroyed in many battles.
Listen, we were destroyed in many battles. Look at this spiritually in this case. This is talking about physically, but this is spiritually at this point. Listen, we don't have any economic power. We don't have any political power. We don't have any spiritual power. We don't have any educational power. We don't have any power.
Right?
Nigga, if this was Mario Brothers, we wouldn't even have any flower power. You
We
understand?
didn't have no power ups.
We don't, no power ups. We don't have any.
Right?
Keep going.
Let's look if I
Go
could
ahead.
before we get back to it. And that's one thing that we do gotta really understand. Like, I still do be seeing brothers and sisters be talking about, well, we can go to physical warfare and gun it out with the oppressor. And at the end of the day, we all know that that's definitely not the case. For one specific reason, is because we are definitely not outgunning the oppressor. He literally manufactures all these different weapons. He's the one
Right.
these weapons are running. And as well as that, like how are we gonna conquer a physical battle when we can't even conquer the spiritual battle? We
Right.
can't even get a foothold on the ground before we try to attack someone.
Right. What scripture said? The weapons of our warfare are not
Not
carnal.
carnal.
You understand? We gotta get out of that cardinal thing.
Right.
Like when you see black things being taken away from you, you gotta get out of the spirit of I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
That's cardinal. Hey, listen, they can have it.
Right.
Listen, take black people out of everything in America, man, and watch how boring it is. Can you imagine watching a basketball game with just all white boys?
Right. Or a football game. Oh my lord.
I didn't even get to that yet.
That's a
Can you
lot.
imagine watching a basketball game without any black people? Can you imagine watching a football game without any black people?
Right.
Can you imagine watching a soccer game without any Hispanic people? Can you imagine watching a baseball game without any Hispanic people?
Right.
Can you imagine watching anything without any blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians?
Think about the MMA. Oh boy.
You just have Conor McGregor getting knocked out by different Indians. That's what you would have.
Oh man.
Beat up a heathen here and there and getting knocked out by other heathens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it would be. It would be boring.
Same here in the name of my country. I am from the Greek tribe.
Right?
I am here to fight Conor McGregor.
Right? That's
Yeah,
you.
this is what y'all be stuck
We
with.
definitely wouldn't have the spider. You know what I'm saying? Even when you see these Hamite fighters, man, who do they pattern themselves after? Black fighters. Damn right. They pattern themselves after black fighters.
Right.
Black fighting styles. They don't come over here fighting like Hamites. They
Right.
come over here fighting like niggas.
Right.
You understand? It would be boring without us. Everything would be. Can you imagine how food would taste without blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to influence it? Kentucky Fried Chicken would be the worst chicken on earth.
Right.
Them secret recipes is all blacks. But you don't know that
Right.
because this is a war and we are under racism, man. The racism, the truth behind racism is that it's a war time. That you don't get credit for nothing, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Let's get some more in the scripture.
Come. I'm gonna go ahead and take it from the top. Verse 18.
Go ahead.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles,
Right.
very sore, and were led captive, captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
That's us. This is what happened with everything that was black owned and operated. Reminds me of Black Wall Street.
Oh man.
You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't have anything, man. The second that we stop following the Lord and want to accept everybody and want to love everybody, let me tell you something, man. We're going to continue to be destroyed out here. We're going to continue to be the last of everything. We're going to continue to be up under the proof of these oppressions. Go ahead and bring up what you want to bring up.
I wouldn't go. I guess I can't go and say something now since I'm already thinking about it. Like I was just gonna make the connection, like how the expo, like how the Black Expo just became the Expo now.
Right.
That's exactly what it is now. Like with Black Wall Street. Like I remember I was reading the prayers one day and I accidentally said Black Wall Street, and then Cap had stopped me. And I thought about it. I'm like, why do you tell me for that? And I looked back down at the paper and it said just straight up Wall Street.
Yeah.
I'm like, they took the black out of Wall Street, so it's no longer not even ours anymore. That whole black community thing that was once like it belonged to us.
Yeah,
that was ours.
That's what they listen.
They turned it into theirs now.
The oppressor never had an original idea in this goddamn life. You get what I'm saying? Not one. Everything that he does, he mimics off the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What verse was you on?
18.
Keep going.
Come on. Well, I lied. I'm actually on 19 now. That was the end of 18.
Go ahead. You're not taking.
Verse 19. But now are they returned to their God.
Listen, black man, this right here, look at it in the spiritual form, man. If we come back to the Lord, this is what happened.
And are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill community.
Look at Jerusalem as the ISUPK. That's what you need to do. Look at Jerusalem as the ISUPK. This is the home of the truth. This is the safe haven for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
Where it is desolate. Verse 20.
That's it. Where it is desolate, man. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 33. We're going to close it out with a couple of Deuteronomy scriptures, black man. 28 and 33. Deuteronomy 28 and 33. We're going to close it out with a couple of Deuteronomy scriptures, man. And then we're going to, you know what I'm saying, see y'all tomorrow, man. But the fact of the matter is this, black man, racism is very alive and well. We're up under these curses because we won't come back to the Lord, and we want to keep being a part of the oppressive society, no matter how bad he treats us, no matter what he does to destroy us. And as long as we keep doing that, we're going to keep suffering.
Right.
Until we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Black Expo won't be the Black Expo. It will just be the Expo.
Right.
Juneteenth will be celebrated by white people everywhere, and you're going to be going to their Juneteenth events
Right.
instead of having your own.
Right.
You understand? No matter what you want to do, it will always be influenced by an oppressor, by the enemy.
Right.
They're going to dictate what you can do and how you can do it, and how much money you're able to make, and they're going to always eat off of you. They're literally going to keep grabbing food, handfuls of fists of food out of your plate and stuffing it down their goddamn throat because you want to be a wicked beast, because you want to allow homosexuality to come into an event, because you want to allow pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster to be sold at an event. Because you want to allow everything that you know is against the Lord to happen, but because you can make $1 off of it, you choose to accept it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Here in the RSUPK, you will never see a brother make shirts supporting homosexuality. You won't see rainbow shirts. You won't say, I stand with the LGBT community. And let me tell you something. You can make a meat roll off of that kind of stuff. You will make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with no problem in a matter of days after this stuff. I do. Go ahead.
Oh, this is lucky. That's lucky. If I could.
Go ahead.
You will see a brother making it. But he's going to be using it as toilet paper.
Right.
So like, you're going to be burning out in his front yard or something, using it as charcoal or something.
Right.
You ain't about to see a brother in our school wearing one.
No, selling one.
Selling one, wearing one,
Right.
don't matter.
Period. Like prime example, I make shirts in my personal life. I do shirts for other people or whatever the case. But certain shirts I won't do. I don't give a damn what kind of money they have for.
Right.
Certain shirts I'm not going to do. I'm not going to.
Right.
I watched the Devil. They was in an interview and they was talking about a shirt being made from a brother, in ISUPK, and said that the oppressor's the devil. And the one white man asked the other white man, he said, "Why the hell would you make that shirt for him?" And that person said, "Shit, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna make that money." That's just his spirit. He
Man.
said, "If I don't do it, somebody else will. Why not me make the money?
Right.
I'm gonna make that money." Listen, I'm gonna tell you. I wish the devil would come to me and talk about, could you make this shirt talk about, something that's derogatory or disrespectful towards my nation? It's not gonna happen. F you in that money. That's what kind of war-torn soldier I am.
Right.
I will never sell out my people for a goddamn dollar.
Right.
I understand the tactics of racism. And that devil was able to do that because he still has a whole nation that's going to support him regardless. We can't afford to do that, black man. We got to stand with each other. We got to be more racist than the oppressor.
Right.
What do I mean by that? I don't mean going out here killing. I don't mean that. I mean just strictly supporting blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians If it's an offense to your brother, it should be an offense to you.
Right.
Something you want to say?
Come on, come. I was gonna bring y'all real quick before we got back to the scriptures. Like these brothers and sisters in the world, like they understand it when it comes to catching charges and cases and stuff like that.
Right.
Not to rat out, not to sell out your own brother, not to rat on your sister or something like that.
Right.
But when it comes to you doing it for your own integrity, for your nation, it's all of a sudden an issue. Which y'all really do gotta get out that mindset, which is really messed up, man. Because when it comes to doing wicked in the world, y'all know when they're not snitch on somebody. But when it comes to standing up for your neighbor, one of your brothers or your sisters that needs your help for your nation, it's all of a sudden, oh well, it's for the money. It's for everything else except my own integrity. For the next
They call it 1-800-TIPS or whatever that number is. They can't wait to snitch.
Right. So like that's all.
The snitch hotline.
Yeah, that's all I have to say, sir. They ran at their brothers and sisters for a burger.
They definitely will, man. They definitely will. Your Christian pastor's the king of it.
Oh man, it's a lot.
He is the king of it.
Hey, so like if I could, what the Purple Cat said? I'll send my brother up for no, I think he's like if your brother had a bounty out setting him or something like that.
Yeah, $5,000.
Yeah.
He said, I know you got a warrant out to pay for $5,000. I'm telling.
Right.
I'm telling you. Now you know why they got beat up in front of a Christian church.
Right, by an old lady.
Right.
Like this is what y'all would do to y'all own brothers and sisters, man. But you wouldn't even think about doing it to your press.
This was Christian the whole time. It was just Christian on Christian violence.
Right.
That's all that was. Let's get Deuteronomy 15 and 15. We're going to rock through.
Deuteronomy 15. You told me.
Yeah, I know I told you 433 first, but go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
All right, come on. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
You don't listen to the Lord.
to observe to do all his commandments.
Don't follow these laws, such as the commandments, man. If the expo is no longer the Black Expo, if the Black Expo is no longer the Black Expo and it's being taken over by white people and it's a sea of white people, guess what you should do? Not go anymore.
Right.
The Lord don't want you integrating with these people and hanging out and being their goddamn friends. If there's no money to be made in it for you, why are you going?
Right.
Why are you going? It's dangerous around white people. Point blank period.
Right.
It's dangerous around them. Don't be going and hanging out around them and kicking them with them. It's not your friends. They're not your buddy. They don't give a damn about you. It's dangerous around them. If there's no money to be made into it and you're not going to work, stay the hell away from it.
Right.
Keep going.
And do in all his statutes, which I command thee this
The
day,
Lord said separate. He said don't worry about being their friends. You don't give a damn about that. And you got to do that this day. Keep going.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Keep going.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city. And
This is the spirit of racism. This is a curse from the Lord. The spirit of racism and a curse from the Lord, man. Because the oppressor makes sure. Keep going. Keep going.
and cursed shalt,
Keep going. Then I'll break it down.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Curse shall not be in the city. Curse shall not be in the field. You can't go anywhere without. Listen, you can't do anything in the city or in the field, man. Look at everything that we built. We built the Black Expo.
Right.
We built the spirit of Juneteenth. We built all these things, man. There's something else that's popping in my mind, but it's slipping out. It's something, a big event that we built as a nation that also got hijacked by that oppressor. But this stuff wouldn't be popping without us. And they've came and they've hijacked it all. So, in our own cities, they've taken it over. And it don't matter, like the field is the work that we put in. We curse from all the work we put in. Keep going.
Gonna come.
Actually, let's go down to, we got 3:16.
Or read 16. Remember read it again.
17, so
Come. Verse 17, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
That's self-explanatory. Listen, we start businesses the oppressor come and take them over, shut them down, tell you you can't post up here anymore.
Right.
Kind of like ISUPK at a camp spot.
Right.
The oppressor come and try to shut the camp spot down. I remember one time here in this city, we was, going to camp, blazing on them every week, of course. And next thing you know, we go down there, there's construction stuff all put up.
Right.
Guess what they built there? Not a goddamn thing.
Right.
Nothing. They just put up construction work, tore up the concrete to keep us from coming to camp at that spot, and they didn't do nothing but lay the concrete back down, man. These oppressors is wicked.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and increase of thy kin, of thy kind, and the flock of thy sheep.
Everything that's yours is going to be cursed.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou committest, it's lucky, when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
This is us, black people. No matter what you do, man. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, when you're coming or going, no matter where you go, we're always cursed. Drop down to 33.
Come. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Listen, no matter what we do in blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian neighborhoods, these other heathens always come in and reap the benefits of it.
Right.
Like how many times have we spent years going to this little mom and pop store that was actually owned by a black person, and then, one day it shuts down, and that's in that same spot, you'll see a heathen open up another store there.
Right.
Happens all the goddamn time. Let's get some more.
Come on.
Actually, drop down to 42.
Verse 42. All thy trees and all thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume.
Who is the locust?
The oppressor.
Damn right. Keep going.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
All these heathen nations rule over us, man.
Right?
This is all a curse from the Lord, man. This is the spirit of racism. This is the truth behind racism. You will never see none of these heathen nations try to give you an opportunity to be their goddamn equal.
Right.
You ask them for advice, they're going to tell you work harder. They're
Right.
not going to tell you no secrets. If there's a secret program that banks is giving out money to open up businesses, these heathens ain't going to tell you.
Right.
Keep going.
Come. Verse 40. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
Ain't that it? Ain't that us right now as a nation?
We breaking our necks for the oppressor, but he won't do the same for us.
Listen, man. He ain't owned by niggas no more.
Right?
Listen, if you want to buy it back, you can't get it. Drop down to 50.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce continents, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shall shew favor of the young.
This is us, blessed Hispanics and anything. It don't matter whether you're old or young, you're going to be a slave in this kingdom. They don't have any mercy on none of us, whether old or young. All of us are slaves. All of us are a part of this race war. And let me tell you something, we're losing. In the racism thing, we're losing, man. There's only one place that you will ever learn to win, and that's in the ISUPK to Commander Junior High.
That's right.
That being said, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Anything else you want to bring up?
Say another again. Like I'm about to get ready to start saying the rest of these. The oppressor's the goddamn devil, the Bible speaks of.
That's right,
And I
man.
pray you brothers and sisters understand, man,
Yeah,
and come up out of this wicked place called America. That's all I got to say.
That's enough said. This is a product of the ISUPK under Commander Junior High. This is a breakdown, man, you understand, on the truth about racism. You can't handle the truth about racism. The truth about racism is this: the white man will always hate you. The Chinese man will always hate you. The Korean and Muslim, anybody who is not black, Hispanics, and Native Indians will always hate you. There's no need for us to hate ourselves or our brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
It's time to come together. With that being said, Israel, shalom.